I don't care what you get in recovery, how much clean time you have, how much sobriety you have. Never forget, not just that last one. Never forget the journey, man. Right? I'm talking about I was doing my meditation the other day, man. I was just thinking about it. And I do this a lot. Yeah, I do. I do this almost every day. I sit in quiet time. I meditate. I don't think. I just listen to God. And if I do say some prayer, I'm thanking Him, man. I'm thanking Him for waking me up. I'm thanking Him for keeping me clean. I'm thanking Him for giving me a peace of mind. I'm thanking Him for the awareness, for the fellowship of recovery, man. Sponsorship, wife. I thank you, man. Y'all told me, y'all said a grateful addict ain't gonna use no dope. I always have an attitude of gratitude, man. I was thinking about when I was in the Salvation Army, man. I never forget that, y'all. I never forget one particular morning I was up real early and I went out to smoke a cigarette. This had to be like 2005. I still remember it. And I'm sharing this with y'all because I don't want y'all to forget. See, a lot of addicts, man, they begin to get clean. They begin to gain some weight. They begin to get some things back in their life. They begin to get their family and get a good job and start their own business and being able to share and begin to sponsor people. And they forget, never forget that you are an addict, man. I don't care if you go to church. I don't care what you do. Never forget that you are an addict. So I went back, man. Remember, man, when I was sitting outside, man. At the time, I didn't know I was doing the inventory, but I was doing the inventory. And I was just thinking, man, like, and I was saying to myself, and I was really saying it out loud, because another addict there, man, he was kneeling down, man, smoking a cigarette. It was just us two, early morning, man. I said, man, I lost my job. I done lost my self-respect, right? I'm going through a divorce. My kids not speaking to me. I spent all my retirement on dope. Who does that? An addict, right? I spent I'm not talking about I had absolutely nothing, man. I'm sitting in the facility, man, with all these men, man, and only had like, I think $1.33 to my name, bro. I had absolutely nothing. But then I started thinking. I said, but I'm at peace. I'm at peace. And then the addict that was kneeling down, he stood up, y'all. He put his cigarette out, man, and he looked at me. He said, but V, you have a relationship with your higher power. And he walked away, man. And I watched him. I watched him walk away. I watched him go up the steps to the front door. And I thought about it. I said, that's what I do have. I have a relationship with a higher power. I told y'all, man, and before I came to recovery, something was always missing. I try to fill it with sex. I try to fill it with sports. I try to fill it with education, being popular and getting a good job and going to school and doing all this thing that this world told me in order for you to be happy, you have to do these things. Now I look back and during that time, I said, this is it. This is it. What I've been looking for, I couldn't find it in church. What I was looking for, man, I couldn't find it in sex. It was a spiritual void, man, that was inside of me, and I had found it in the Salvation Army. See, God had let me come to my bitter ends. God didn't tell me to go use no drugs, but He allowed me to use some drugs because He's a God of free will, right? But let me share something with y'all, man. 3 things in recovery I learned that I'm powerless over, man. I'm powerless over drugs, man. Drugs took me to my knees, man. I thought I was using drugs, but drugs were using me. I'm powerless over the disease of addiction. There's something inside of me, man. Right? There's something inside me that just want to do the bad things, man. I'm talking about spiritual in nature. I'm powerless over the disease of addiction. But something else, man, I got to share this with y'all that I'm powerless over. I'm powerless over what God want to do with my life. See, I serve a God, right? I serve a God that knew me before I was even born, man. I serve a God that knew me when I was in my mother's womb. I'm talking about He had a plan for me before I was even born. He had a plan for me before I was even thought of. He had a plan for me before my parents even met. I remember one time an older member told me in recovery, y'all, he said, V, one day, he said, one day, bruh, you're going to begin to see the big picture. So I suffer from a disease, y'all, that keeps me focused on small things. I make mountains out of molehill, man. I'm talking about I could do 15 things right. That one thing, that 16th thing I do wrong, my mind would focus on that one thing. I wake up in blessings. I wake up in my own home. I wake up, got toilet paper. Listen, y'all know what I'm talking about. I wake up, got my own car, got water, man. But my mind, I suffered from a disease that I would just focus on something that ain't going my way. The disease of addiction is very narrow, man. It's closed-minded. It just zoom in on things I can't control, and things that I'm powerless over, man. But when I began to heal on the inside, I began to open up. And I began to see things that I never saw before. They told me in recovery, they said, Vernon, after I had a spiritual awakening, see, some of y'all, man, y'all still clean. Some of y'all ain't drinking. Some of y'all ain't using no drugs. And I give y'all props for that. But some of y'all is clean, bro, but y'all still sleep. See, only have a spiritual awakening. The only way I can really wake up, right? Only way I can really wake up if I began to build this relationship with a loving God. So now I began to build this relationship and I began to open up and I'm seeing things that I never seen before. One thing that I see today is that God was always with me, bruh. I'm not here, man, with over 15 years clean, man, and sober, man, by accident. I'm not here, man, because I'm lucky, man. I'm here because it's God's grace. I'm here because the love. I thought desperation brought me to recovery, but what brought me to recovery was divine love. God loved me so much, he allowed me to come to the end of myself.